So now we shall see as to who is that person who is fit for this knowledge, knowing about one's own self. Verse number 14. Adhikarinamasaste phalasiddhirvisheshatah upaya deshakaladhyah santyasmin sahakarinah ato vicharakartavyah जिज्ञासोरात्मवस्तुनः समासाद्यदया सिन्धुम् गुरुम् आनमतां सताम्. Okay, 1 minute. This is not okay. Read again, huh? अतो विचार कर्तव्यः जिज्ञासोरात्मवस्तुनः समासाद्यदया सिन्धुम् गुरुं ब्रह्मविदुत्तमम्. Long before you go to the teacher and teaching, the first thing that is to be understood, as you have been seeing, is the preciousness of human life. Okay? And then understanding the goal of human life. That is the beauty of it. This is, today in our generation, mostly all times also in history, we have been so much engaged in our immediate living that, of course, immortality is lost sight of. Naturally so. The person who is hungry, can you talk to him about immortality? The person who is dying, person who is miserable, you are not going to talk to him about deathlessness and immortality and absolute freedom. And that seems to be the immediate need of the person. The immediate need is not immortality, but sustaining the life. Very simple. It's natural to everybody. Are you getting that? When a man is hungry, miserable, affected by natural disasters, disease, pain, you can't talk to him, come sit down and I'll tell you you are Brahman, absolute. That is why people consider this type of knowledge as impractical. They say you are very insensitive. When a man is hungry, instead of giving him food, you are telling him his happiness. What nonsense. By getting this knowledge, I am the happiness, my hunger will go. It's natural. So, everybody has to start with the struggle for survival. And today we have reached in a time in our generation where most people, I don't want to say all people, where most people, at least a sizable number of people, are no more eating for survival. Everybody is eating only for luxury. Ask yourself a question. Are you eating for survival or for taste? The taste of it is going to a hotel. What do you order? Food or taste? Everybody orders for taste. Why? Because you are not eating for survival. You are eating for luxury. So long after the survival riddle is resolved, still the pain remains. From the hunger from the hunger for food for sustenance, you have now graduated into the hunger for luxurious food. Are you getting that? From the need for clothing to cover your body, you have graduated into designer clothes. understand. From the need to protect yourself, to shelter yourself from the vagaries of nature, whether it is summer, winter, rain, now you have moved into high-tech buildings. Where is the end? We forget that as much the man was feeling insecure in a cave, that much you are feeling insecure in a five-star condo in the huge megalopolis, metropolis of today. If our grandfather was afraid of the tiger, we are afraid of the terrorist. If they are afraid of being knocked down by the tiger or a lion, we are afraid of being knocked down by a vehicle. So very nicely somebody was telling, nowadays Yamaha has changed his vehicle. Previously Yamaha was coming on a buffalo. Nowadays the Lord Death comes on Palawan transport. Meaning, anywhere you can get knocked down. It can come on a car. So, the problems have not been solved. So, what do you want in life? Time has come to, sit down and think over it. Not as a religious pursuit. Please appreciate. Not as a religious pursuit. It is something so much of common sense. All right, of course I don't want to listen to immortality when I am hungry. But my hunger is taken care. Where is the end to it? Of course, when the poverty is there, I am not going to talk about absolute happiness. All right, I am not prosperous. Poverty doesn't solve the problem. Prosperity doesn't solve it either. Illiteracy doesn't solve the problem. Literacy doesn't solve it either. Disease doesn't solve the problem. Health doesn't solve it either. Because more and more emotional problems comes in. There is fear, anxiety, hatred, jealousy, all these things. So what does it mean? A common sense thing. You don't have to run away from secular world to religion, in order to understand these things. No, right wherever you are. Doesn't matter whether in a secular field or a religious field. Because both secular and religious are opposed to each other nowadays, especially because the type of theologies that have gained currency in the world is opposed to secularism. As much the secular fanatics, as much there are religious fanatics, that much there are secular fanatics. When the religious person is fanatical about God, the secular fellow is fanatic about pleasure in the outside world. Both are mistakes. One demands full attention on God, other demands full attention on the world. Nobody cares for you. That is why the individual is orphaned in this fight between the secular and the religious, the divine and the mundane. The average individual is literally left orphaned. Nobody cares for you. That is why Upanishad is so beautiful. The individual must be taken care. Are you getting that point, please? God is not your problem. Creation is not your problem. You are your problem. Right or wrong? It doesn't matter whether God exists or not. It doesn't matter whether creation was created or appeared. Who cares? My presence here takes the hell out of my life. Please appreciate. That is why I must understand myself. This approach, unfortunately, because this approach happens to be in the body of literature called Vedas and Vedanta and Upanishads, and that happen to be part of the whole Hindu culture. So people think it's a religious stuff. It is not. Earlier the world understands it is better. It is like learning driving. As much you learn driving, to negotiate in the world around, to drive around, to pass, to go around from place to place. This is also learning to drive your body, your mind around and knowing about the driver as to who you are and the destinations. Driving is not the job of a driver. You can be managing director of a company, you must know driving. Because driving is a universal art. Are you getting that point? Driver is not a job. Do you understand that dimension? Driver is not a job. Driving is something which everybody must know. Are you getting that? Driving is something which everybody must know. Okay, you know driving, but you appoint a driver. Why? Because when I am doing my job as a managing director, looking at the papers, looking at the books, talking over a phone to somebody, if there is a man driving my car, it makes it nice. So that My office is extended from the 5-star penthouse to the inside the car as well as in the restaurant. But that does not mean I should not know driving. Because after the office hour, who is going to drive you? You have to drive your car. Same thing also. Listen carefully. Same thing also. There is a time comes. Mother takes care of you as a child. Maybe friends are there to take care of you. People are there to take care of you. But how long can other people take care of your mind? There shall be a time when you have to take care of your mind. Right or wrong? How long can you be under the spell of a guru? That is why people, you understand the difficulty. When the people stay under the spell of the so-called religious people and spend all the time there. Why? Because he is going to take care of us, so I can look at his face for the rest of my life. You are wasting your time. The person must learn how to drive. Are you getting that point, please? You must learn how to drive. Have you not been doing all the time? You go to school. Did you hang on to a school teacher for the rest of your life? You learnt engineering, learnt medicine, learnt architecture, learnt your whatever, law, physics, chemistry, whatever. Come back and make your life according to your teaching. Only in religion, you have to look at the boy's face throughout your life. For what? What are you wasting your time for? Learn the thing, use it, and be a happy person in life. So it's very, very important to appreciate that in this teaching, neither the God is given importance nor the world is given importance. You are given the importance. But when you are given the importance, it does not mean you are given importance at the cost of the world or the God or the totality. No. When you appreciate yourself, your appreciation of God is complete. When you appreciate yourself, you learn how to handle this creation beautifully. Because you are the beginning and the end of the riddle. There is nothing beyond you. Please appreciate. So that is why adhikari, you have to be an adhikari, a qualified person who should understand as to what is that something I want in life. Because from the childhood onwards, the immediate problem takes over. Hunger takes over, naturally takes over. Disease takes over. So you have to fight this hunger, fight this disease. But once we have fought it out, we are in a relatively safe position. Now better watch out. Okay, I could cure the disease, but what about death? And when I said death, it is not death of only body, death of a relationship. Your body dies only once. Long before your body dies, how many times you are dead inside? Fighting with your friend, fighting with your husband, fighting with your wife, fighting with your... Everybody. How many times you are dying emotionally? So, what shall I do? I have cured the disease, taken care of the hunger of the body, but the hunger of the mind seems to be never ending. The disease of the mind, the disease called the death, how do I get out of it? For that you have to discover deathlessness, absolute satisfaction in yourself, so that your hunger of the mind goes away. Just, why is it so? Just a little, I have told you, but again I am repeating that. Hunger of the mind, please appreciate. Hunger of the body can be satisfied with tangible food. Think it again. Huh? Hunger of the body can be satisfied with the tangible, the food that you can touch. An apple, roti, bread, rice, vegetable. You cannot think of food to satisfy your hunger, can you? Can you think of food to satisfy your hunger? If you think of food, your hunger will be more. The hunger is at the body level and it needs food of the gross kind. Are you getting that point? Thought of the food cannot satisfy the gross hunger. Okay? To satisfy gross hunger, you need gross food. Now, your desire for achieving everything in life, is it a hunger at the gross level or thought level? Subtle level. So you cannot satisfy the subtle hunger by the gross object. As even thought of the food cannot satisfy the hunger of the body, hunger of the stomach, the object outside cannot satisfy the hunger of your mind. His hunger is desires, more and more and more. That is why, how many desires you have fulfilled? And how many are still left out? The more you satisfy, the desire keeps coming up. Are you getting that? Very nicely Mahabharata says, Najatu kama kamanam upabhogyena samyadi habisha krishnavartmaiva bhuya eva parivardate avivardate. Najatu, never indeed, the desires can be satisfied by fulfilling it. The more you satisfy it, the more becomes, the more desires come up. Like you want to douse, extinguish the fire by pouring ghee. The more ghee you pour, the bigger the conflagration. The more desire you satisfy, the more you want to satisfy. Never ending. Because no object can satisfy no gross object can satisfy the subtle hunger. That is why you can be richer than the richest man in the world. Still you can be empty. Mind a bottomless pit. So to satisfy that subtle hunger, you need something subtle. The satisfaction itself, your nature. That is why you go to yourself. Not snanena, danena, pranayama, satena, neither by charity, nor by giving up this, or by doing this activity, secular religious practices. Your emptiness will not go away. You have to find yourself. Tasmat, he says, so many ways are desha kalupadya sakarana santi. There are ways to support you. Ataha vichara kartabhya jigyaso atmavastuna. Jigyasu is desirous of knowing this truth. As to knowing myself, who I am, which satisfies your hunger of the mind, takes away the disease called death, because you are immortality itself. So that must be questioned. Atmavastunaha vichara kartabhya. Enquiry must be undertaken to know about one's own self by the jigyasu. Jigyasu means jnatu ichu, and is desirous of knowing himself. How should he do that? Samasadya gurum daya sindhum gurum brahmavidutamam. Samasadya, approaching a teacher. What type of teacher? Daya sindhum gurum, a teacher who is ocean of compassion. The teacher is very angry, nutcut. Suppose the teacher is very, very, what? Short-tempered. If you ask a question second time, get out. Literally you don't understand, the fellow doesn't know what to do. Himself doesn't understand anything. Suppose, imagine, you know where from the compassion comes? When you know the truth for yourself, but you appreciate the incapacity of the other person. Have you ever taught a child? For you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, counting 10 is so easy. But you tell your child what he says. 1, 2, 3, 4, but by habit you will say 1, 3, the 2 he jumps. So do you get angry and hit the 2-year-old? Rather you enjoy. Count, 1, 3, see. He is making a mistake. Are you getting that? When he is making a mistake, you enjoy. Why? That is child. But if he is 5-year-old and says 1, 2, 3, shut up. So in the beginning stages of the learning, the teacher must have enormous compassion and patience. Why? Because children. 50-year-old baby has come to learn. 70-year-old baby has come to learn. 40-year-old, 30-year-old, 20-year-old baby has come to learn. Hey, Swami, why is a baby? Are bhai, it's like any language. Just because you're 50-year-old, can you learn a new language just like that without alphabet? Any language you learn, you start ABCD, no? So, Atma, the subject about yourself, also is a language. And the ABCD must be learnt. What is a gross body, what is a subtle body, what is a causal body, what is desire. Everything must be learned. That is the alphabet. So when you are learning, sometimes you may find it difficult. But it is easy. Why? Because the scripture takes into account your experience while teaching it. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava. The scripture declares something which logically is substantiated, taking into account your experience. We need the scripture, a teacher to tell me, I am the absolute, I am the happiness. I don't need a scripture to tell me I am stupid. It must be logically substantiated, established. And while establishing that, it must take into account human experiences, anubhav. That is why it becomes easier. So the students, the teacher does it. So the teacher doesn't know it. What will he do? He will initiate you into practices. Do this, one day it will happen. Oh my God. That is where you see practice orientation. And people come and say, Swamiji, I have been chanting a mantra for 20 years, nothing has happened. Of course, nothing will happen. What is there? I have been holding my nose or standing on my tail for years and years, nothing has happened. I am looking at sitting in front of a wall and looking at a mirror or some lamp or light. Nothing is happening. Of course, nothing will happen. You are honest, other people are dishonest. There is only difference. The problem is you. What are you looking at a mirror for? I have looked at the tip of my nose. In the beginning, it was very nice. Now, nothing is happening. True. In the beginning, it was nice because a new game you started. Any new game is interesting for some time, no? After that, it is boring. That is, you understand? It's not the mistake of the people. It's the mistake of the teachers. Initiating people into different exotic trips. You must see, yesterday, I was looking at the YouTube, somebody has put some lecture of mine, few days back only. When I was opening to see, he said, Swamiji, look at it. When opening, there is one written, Swamiji, his name is Swami Hey Hey. Swami Hey Hey Music. And there are 10,000 people have also hit, they have hit that site. Hey Hey Music. Why? God only knows what is going on. God's, I mean, of course, people have also nothing else to do. That surfing internet is a big thing. Now that also another pastime. There's another obsession. Previously, if you have to establish with so much of logic, there is no happiness in sabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Now, this generation of fellows, you have to take internet surfing is obsessive. There is no happiness in internet surfing. You have to tell him, because the fellows sit down and surfing all the time, looking at this, looking at that. It's another time-consuming, absolutely time-consuming affair. Just like when we are, there are football widows. Before there are football widows, the fellow is so crazy about football, wife runs away. Now there will be computer widows, internet widows. Because whether the girl or the boy, whatever, the man or the woman, so obsessed with computer, he doesn't have time for anybody else or anything else. You can say, but suppose somebody is interested in himself, he has no time for anybody. No. When you are obsessed with yourself and you find yourself who I am, thereafter you are, your whole living is for others. Your body, your mind breathes, your body breathes for others, mind thinks for others. Because it doesn't matter to you if the body dies now. Who cares? Because in fact, you never die. Body passes. Yes. Anyway, we shall see that. So, there's in the Gurum Samasadhya, Brahma Viduttamam. One who is compassionate and Brahma Viduttamam. Very much aware of himself. Brahman, the absolute. Okay. How do I know the teacher is like that? You will never know. Only when you understand it, you will know he hasn't understood it. That doesn't mean if you don't understand, he doesn't know it. No, if he gives you a glimpse unto yourself, You will always can ask, how do I find a right teacher? Simple thing. I told you, you are not a good cook, but you can taste food, right or wrong? Everybody can cook, but everybody can give a certificate on food. Oh, this cooking, this cooking. Cook, you can't cook anything. But taste, you can do. Everybody can talk. Listen. Everybody can discuss, reveal a freedom. But when you listen to it, you know it. In the process of listening, are you becoming independent, going back to yourself, or the teacher push you into something else? Understand? Remember the statement, by depending, you can't be independent. So when somebody throws you back onto your lap, that is the one person who knows it, aware of himself. Anyway, if the teacher is something who should be Brahma Viduttamam, Daya Sindhu, knows the truth for himself, ocean of compassion, enormous patience, the student should be read. Medhavi Purusho Vidwan Uhapoha Vichakshanaha Adhikaryatma Vidyayam Ukta Lakshana Lakshitaha. Yeah, this person, who is the one, who is the Adhikari Atma Vidyayam. Atma Vidyayam Adhikara Yasya Asti. One who has the full right, who commands that privilege of understanding himself. Who is that person? He should be Medhavi. Medhavi means Medha Grantha Dharana Sakti. One who has the capacity to listen and remember the book. What you listen, you have the capacity to hold it in your mind for some time and work on it. How are you going to create an arrow? First, you must have a piece of bamboo in your hand. Suppose the bamboo goes away. When you are holding the bamboo runs away. Now, what type of arrow you can create? Are you getting that? It's like you are trying to make a nice instrument out of iron. You bang, poof, it goes. Now, can you create a weapon out of it? To create an arrow out of a bamboo, you must hold the bamboo. Then you can sharpen it, right? You want to sharpen an idea? Hold the thought in your head. When somebody gives you an idea, when you listen to the book, you must have the capacity to hold that idea in your head for some time. Then only you can sharpen it. But every time you listen, it is absolutely fresh. Yat padhitam tad gurave niveditam. Whatever I study, I give it back to my guru and go. Namaskar. Right? No. Yat padhitam, whatever studied, gurave niveditam. I give it to guru and go. How can I take away his things? I don't steal other people's property. Medhavi. You have Grantha Dharana Sakti. You have the capacity to hold that idea in your head. And he must be Purusha. So now again, only men must listen to this. Can you beat it? The Purusha, again I told, is like quality of the mind again. Don't take human being. Because in reality, in this creation, everybody is three. We shall see later on when it comes. Absolute principle is Purusha. Rest is Prakriti. In the Prakriti, the man and woman is part of that Prakriti, the feminine principle. So when it talks about Purusha, it's not the man, it's the masculine mind. The person must be decisive. Punstvam, which was on before. Because, okay, in time, maybe those days, Shankara's time, only men were in the audience. So they were talking about Purusha, Purusha, Purusha. Today, when you say man is mortal, does it mean woman is immortal? Man is mortal. So woman is immortal. Huh? The man is a common name, common noun. It includes, the man includes woman. Purusha includes Stri, human being. Purusha, Vidhabi, Purusha. But just not a human being. It must be a mind. Are you getting that point? You're talking about a mind. Because it's not the body who is taught. Is the body taught? Body is never taught. The mind. And mind has no gender discrimination. No man or woman. Acha. Then Medhavi, Purusha, Vidwan must be learned. That is why learning is so essential. Because if you don't know, if you don't study, if you don't pick up ideas, you cannot think. Most of the people think to be religious, you don't need any qualification. That is why two professions have been very dangerous. One is politics, other is religion. To be a politician, you don't have to know anything. Your training ground is college, but not to be the best student, but to be one who can disturb every class. And the drop of a hat, call for a strike. Break everything. You get the training ground so that you can destroy the whole country later on. The fellow who was a rogue in the country, rogue in the college, so-called student union leader, fourth time it takes him to pass the graduation, he is an education minister. And the person who got PhD, FRCS, now he is appointed somewhere, he has to fire him, throw him from, shuttle him from one place to another place. Where do you think this country will go? Yeah, if not to the dogs. So two professions don't need any qualification. To be a religious fellow, what should you do? Nothing. Bigger the stomach, better. Longer the beard, the better. Chita, chandan, mala, big mala, put it up and talk rubbish. What is that you say? Just go on blessing everybody. Have you seen that fancy picture? Every so-called sadhu will have a raised hand, right? Blessing everybody. Why? Because he is God's agent, you see. Dangerous thing. Please. If you look at the ancient traditions, how learned these great teachers were. Look at Shankara. Amazing intellect. One who can write these many verses, you think is an ordinary person? How many of these so-called intelligent people can write a single line like this? And what type of idea? Because you don't know Sanskrit, you think this is useless. In no other literature, in any language, you can have this type of ideas. And ideas do not come from language. Language reflects ideas. And ideas come from within. Understand your vision, your profundity of the vision from which these ideas flash. And the ideas take a shape in a language. So just because nowadays Sanskrit is, nobody knows it, so everybody thinks, oh, they are non-educated people. Why? They don't know English. So English knowing people educated. Huh? So every farmer in London must be the highly educated person because he speaks English. That is where it hit your face when you reach London. Because every fellow, Tom, Dick, Harry speaks English. But if you give a nice statement, they don't understand. Because it's one thing to be speaking a language, one thing to understand a language. You are creative in that language. Are you getting that point, please? See the brilliance of it. Vidwan. You must be Vidwan, learned person. And what? Uhapoha vichakshana. Uhapoha vichakshana, as sharp as a razor's edge. Have you seen that? What is that boy? The barber? Have you seen village barber? He has got a razor. He has got a big that leather thing. One leather piece of leather. Or there will be a stone piece. What he does? Chadapat. Like that he does it. This is that uhapoha. Uhapoha. You are polishing it. And that sharp, you must have the mind sharp as a razor. That is why the student, when he comes to this knowledge, they describe him as Agni Manavakaha. Manavaka, the student, is bright like a fire. You speak it, he grasps it. Not that nice, what did you say? Oh boy. You may not be that, understand, you may not be that bright. Listen carefully. But in the process, you become bright. Because under this spell of ignorance, when you come, you are not that bright. Because there are so many obsessions. Before I come to this knowledge, I don't know anything about anything. So, I am very proud of my degree. Or feeling bad about something. helplessly a slave of a habit, a sound or a taste or a touch or a smell or something. So naturally I am so down and out, so low in my life. And when you listen to these things, he suddenly wakes you up. He's like a Hanuman. Hanuman was cursed as a child when he jumped to catch sun, thinking it's a ripe mango. The rising sun is like a ripe mango. The story is, they are very mischievous. So the rishis, sages cursed him. You shall not know your strength until it is reminded, until you are reminded. So he was very sweet. Until the Lanka, when he has to jump the sea to go to Lanka. Somebody reminded. Same thing, until we are reminded about our power, we are all sleeping monkeys. Please understand. It's waking that power in us. What the teacher does, what the scripture does, it doesn't give you that power, which is already in you. Wakes you up to that. Then you discover, oh my God, what a stupid fellow I am. Not knowing I am happiness, I was looking around for all the objects. Okay, the objects can give me comfort, no doubt. All right, let me have a good house. But never I shall ever think again that house makes me happy. Why? This house I am building for this body, and this body itself is going to die. Who cares when this house is going to fall? That practically will come in life. What is more important is your love, your affection, how you live with people, how much money you have. The whole system has changed. This son earns 500,000. This fellow home, staying at home only, homebound. That fellow is a rascal. My husband is a only earner. Her husband is stupid. What is this? Brother, 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 sister, mother, children, husband, wife. There is no time for each other. Now everybody is busy making money, or everybody is busy bringing something or doing something, where you have no place for anybody else in your life. What nonsense is that? What type of life is that? Think. Time has come, please. You must very clearly appreciate. It's a vichakshana. You must be so brilliant that yes, previously I was losing myself there. Now I know, oh my God, I am the happiness. Okay, right. But still I continue to have those things. Why? It sustains me. But you are not proud of it anymore. He's a brilliant person. Uhapo vichakshana. Are sharp at the razor's edge. That is why the sharpness comes because of your thinking, your discrimination. More and more you think, sharper you become. Just like what they call honing, sharpening a quality. Like a painter goes on painting, after some time is such a master painter, every stroke creates a painting. Musician, have you not seen that? In the beginning he follows every rule. After some time he goes beyond the rule. Whatever he sings, that is the rule. Anything, driving, cooking, dancing, jumping, running, anything you do, when you're a master, it's a different game altogether. You're very sharp you become. Anyway, uhapo vichakshana. And such a person, adhikari atmavidyayam, ukta lakshana lakshita. So who has all this? He becomes adhikari atmavidya. In self-knowledge, he becomes the adhikari, qualified. And what are the lakshanas he should have? What are the qualifications? Do you know? In Tattva-bodha, what are the qualifications? Huh? 4 qualifications, right? 4 qualifications, no? Yes, Viveka. Same thing comes now. What happened? Okay. Read. You know all these things, so we shall just pass over it, okay? Simply pass over. Read. Vivekino viraktasya samadhi gunasalinah mumukshit mumukshitvam hi brahma mumukshyoreva hi brahma jigyasa yogyata mata sadhana nyatra chatvari kathitani manishivi yeshu satsveva sannistha yadabhavena siddhyati ado nitya nitya vastu viveka pariganyate ihamutra phala bhoga viragasthadanantaram samadhi satka sampatti mumukshuttvamiti sphutam. So these are all simple things I just pass over, okay? Vivekinah viraktasya samadhi gunasalinah mumukshyoreva hi brahma jigyasa yugata mata. Mumukshyoreva brahma jigyasa yogyata. Mumukshu muktum ichu mumukshu. Let me be liberated. Mukti me muktum mukti me bhuya. Let me be free. I am tired of these limitations. I want to be free right here and now. One thought, one emotion, one object, one idea. The person must see it very clearly. Who is the person to be free? Mumukshoho jigyasa yogyata. The person who is mumukshu, desirous of liberation. Let me be free. And he should be viveki, discriminate, viraktasya, dispassionate, samadhi gunasalina, all samadhamadi qualifications. Okay, what are they? They now mix it up. Sadhanani atra chatvari kathitani manishivi. Manishivi kathitani. By great teachers. See, look, Shankara, we say, Shankara say, non-pesre. I am telling, you better listen. No, manishivi kathita. This is how the great teachers have taught. I am not the first one making up these four principles. Today, in our generation, this plagiarism is plenty. Stealing somebody's idea. Because you have got a lot of internet. Everything is available everywhere. The fellow picks up and passes it on as his own idea. What a thing it is. At least be grateful, because thereby, you see, if you are ungrateful, you are a liar. And if you are a liar, you cannot pass on the truth to others. Because there will be no freedom. Never try to pass on somebody's thing as yours. Your own conscience will kill you. Your own heart will cheat you. If it is somebody's, I accept. Somebody has told this. Not necessarily I told. Why is it that I tell it? You take a little, temporary satisfaction. When somebody appreciates you. You have got a brilliant idea? Yes. After that, what happens? You start with a brilliant idea, end up with nonsense. The borrowed idea is beautiful. Personal idea is stupid. People know what is your strength now. That is why when you go on quoting beautiful statements, but when you start giving your statement, it's all stupid. Then people know what is the height of knowledge you have. It's like telling, my grandfather was a diwan, my father was a police commissioner, my brothers are highly placed, my daughter is like that, my son is like that. We have heard about everybody, thanks, but what about you? Nothing. I just simply anger. Oh, thank you. That is how when, especially in India, if you see that in our country, what is oh, Hindu tradition is great tradition. Looking at you, I don't believe in that. Isn't it? Hindu tradition is very great. Wonderful philosophy, wonderful thinking, but you are a crook. Very rich tradition, but very dirty country. Huh? Everywhere plastic. Wherever you go, you have to hold your nose. Because that is why we do pranayam. Kumbhak. Everywhere you go, we learn kumbhak. Hold your breath and walk. So everybody is pranayama in our country. One Korean fellow was there. Somebody asked him, hey, what do you think of this? How do you think? How is the country, India? Oh, it's India. India is a beautiful country. He said, India is very, Indians will ask him, if they want to know from Korean, he asked him, how is the country? 1977, he was studying in Madras University. I was that time in Madras teaching. So he was attending my classes also. Some philosophy department students were coming, so he was coming. So somebody asked him in the class, what do you think of India? Oh, India is very beautiful. 1 foot above the ground. 1 foot above the ground, India is very beautiful. If you look at the ground, yuck. Anyway, so if you say the great culture, great everything, but what about your life? You are a crook, miserable, stupid. No. That doesn't mean the culture is not good. Culture is great. But that must reflect in our life. You getting that, please? So, don't ever pass on somebody's idea as yours. Shankara so beautifully says, Manishivi katitani. Great people, those who have understood the reality, they have spoken. What is that? Atra chatvari sadhanani. There are fourfold qualification. Yesu satsu eva sannishta. Yesu satsu sannishta. Yesu satsu, that which is existing, in whose presence you will have the nishtha, understanding of this truth, avoiding of this reality. Yad abhave na siddhyati. If you don't have it, you won't have the knowledge. Are you getting that? If your qualification is there, it facilitates your understanding. If the qualification is not there, not that you cease to be truth. You are always the truth, whether you understand it or not. But you won't grasp it. That is why qualification is so much necessary. It's like this. I know the silence is unaffected. Listen, silence is unaffected by the noise. You say that, but all the time you are full of noise, noise, noise. How much you enjoy it? That is why when you live with a person, I know I can adjust with anybody, but it will be nice if the person also is sensitive. Are you getting that? Why should it be needed that you have to adjust with people? Are you getting that? When somebody puts you in a situation where you have to always adjust and adjust and adjust, it creates tension in life. Why can't you be a free person? Are you getting that point? Why can't you be a free person? Nice person? No. I will be whatever I want to be, like some drunkards. There are some guys who will be drinking to death. And if you tell them, I know what am I doing. Poor wife or poor husband or poor children cannot afford it. What should they? Together they should throw him out. You know, oh, where is compassion? So compassion means allowing sick to be sicklier, right? What type of compassion? What is the definition of compassion? Compassion is person who is aware of his limitation, wants to give it up, can't help. Oh, give him your life. That is compassion. Compassion is not the person who wants to drink poison continuously. If he wants to kill himself, compassion is allowing him to kill. When somebody wants to live, but he cannot keep himself alive, compassion is giving everything to keep him alive. Are you getting that point, please? It's a misplaced compassion. One wants to kill himself. Compassion is allowing him to die. Because if you keep him alive, the person is useless. He will be miserable. The real compassion is, I want to be alive, but I don't know what to do. Oh, okay. All right, we'll help you. Swamiji, whatever you teach is very nice. I really want to understand certain difficulties. You knock my door at night, 2 o'clock. I'll come and explain it to you. The other fellow is never understands, never learns, never anything, simply hanging around. So shall I go out of the way to teach him? Already he is lost. What is the idea of wasting my time on him? Are you getting that point, please? You must appreciate what is compassion. Anyway, same thing. I am happiness. If the qualifications are there, satsu, nishtha. When your mind is beautiful, thoughts are not agitations, you are always happy with yourself. Thoughts are there, doesn't matter. Because you don't convert it to desires. And if you convert it to desires consciously, it's a different game altogether. Yasya bhave, if you don't have these qualifications, na siddhyati, you find it difficult to appreciate yourself. So what are those four qualifications? Ado nitya anitya vastu viveka pariganyate. First one is nitya anitya vastu viveka. Viveka, discrimination. Nitya anitya vastu viveka. The discrimination between ephemeral and the eternal. Nitya anitya. Nitya eternal, anitya ephemeral. Permanent, transient. Ya amutra phalabhoga viraga. Then dispassion, you should have dispassion. Ya amutra phalabhoga viraga. No more desire for pleasures, either here or in the hereafter. I want absolute happiness which never comes to an end. I don't want happiness which ends either here or hereafter. Then Shama, the Satka Sampatti, sixfold qualification, beginning with Shama, and last one, Mumukshutvam. Okay, what is this? Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. You read it, we shall see in the afternoon. Okay? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithyeti Evam Rupo Vinishchayah Shoyam Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka Samudarutah. Okay, close your eyes.